A small house with a rough wooden archway. Old paint hides a crumbling roof and mold-covered walls. The interior space is filled with a dirty rug on the floor, a few old chairs, and a cramped kitchen table. In the corner, you can smell the odor of kerosene and smoked wood stove, which is used for cooking and heating the house. The windows in the house have no perch temples and are covered with rags just to protect themselves from the cold. In this house full of hopelessness existed a family, a poor woman, and her young son. The boy, who was smart beyond his years, couldn't just watch his mother work to the bone to feed her family. And he decided to become rich, by all means. As you can see, he has a lot of motivation. And having written a detailed plan, he decided to act, gave himself his word that he would never stray from the path. Every day he moved towards his goal, and even in the most difficult moments the boy continued, because his will was strong. But one day a mysterious stranger approached him and left a bag near the boy. The bag was completely filled with gold, and the next day, the boy was old. That's the story. Well, if your motivation can be easily bought, what kind of will can you talk about? Another thing is Pete, whose motivation was mass. But mass is harder to buy. And who finds it easy to walk around with a bunch of sweaty bezrai? Eat scraps and you have to practice martial arts. Askeladd, though he's an old bastard, but he's quite capable of throwing it into the cabin. At least he was. Wherever. But here you need willpower to keep yourself in control and not to quietly kill that cunning half-Viking and half-Keds. Or like Andy Dufresne to dig a hole for 20 years just to see Morgan Freeman. The local Blue Patrol in the form of the Sisters catches the worst possible moment and chisels a hole. But not in the wall. But what can you do? Freedom comes at a price. Willpower is the only thing that keeps a person in such situations afloat. But you and I are very lucky to live at a time when will has become worth a penny. In the sense that the judgment of such a strong manifestation of human character, which is comprehended by incredible sacrifices and renunciation of the strongest feelings that are destroyed in the human, in the name of a great goal, which has become the meaning of existence, began to be measured by an undrunk can of beer. If you look at the things that are now meant as a manifestation of willpower, you can see how much this concept is depreciated. Do not eat unhealthy 2 weeks, replacing one sweet product with another sweet product with the difference only inscriptions Dia Chiskaya, or swing a convenient time in a warm and cozy gym 3 times a week to apply willpower to quit, smoke, stop a papa or late to bed, sleep the same as against bots. Utiliza the ult. Poland is like dabbling in the majority of human beings who have food and shelter. Don't need anything else. Everything else, except survival, is a different kind of pastime. And everything that is now meant as a will is nothing more than a gimmicky kind of entertainment. Someone, lying on the bed after waking up, scrolling the tape, staring at the screen, and someone, having taken a cold shower, goes for a jog. And although there is no vital need to jog, just like in social networks, people do it. The only difference is the perception. Of course, keeping yourself fit and progressing. At first glance, it's much better than just killing time. But it's only at first glance that people's life orientation changes quickly. Development is fine by its own bitches, and there is nothing wrong in the fact that a person wants to get high just so stand out among the gray mass of losers and take the path of progress, then not a separation for modern man, a person who is in a safe environment. Although ostensibly useful actions are different from ostensibly destructive things, but the mechanism is the same. One feeds on laziness and drowns in it. The other drowns in vanity. The third wallows in despondency, because no matter how you look at it, what is a volitional action for one, rest and pleasure for another, and to measure the will by supposedly difficult, supposedly correct actions, somehow is not very good. It's strange to think that will can help to overcome laziness, procrastination, and even more so to control one's emotions and desires. Of course, within the framework of ordinary everyday life. Lev Nikolaevich achieved greatness in his business writing more than one bestseller, but was so gambler that because of debts he had to sell half of his property. It is somehow strange that the will, which helped him to achieve success in writing books and not to quit halfway through, suddenly evaporated when it was necessary to quit an obviously ruinous addiction. Tolstoy was by no means the only such person. Prominent figures like Hemingway, Churchill, and Stephen King, despite destructive habits, showcased immense willpower. Willpower isn't just about self-control, but often involves desperate recklessness, seen in individuals like monks or protesters who defy conventional norms. It's not accurate to label someone as entirely willful or willless in everyday life. Ordinary people can exhibit unexpected strength in extreme situations, pushing beyond limits. The true extent of one's willpower is often unknown until faced with extreme circumstances. Giving up harmful habits solely for the sake of willpower is likely to fail. Real willpower lies in living according to one's aspirations, even if they appear unconventional or destructive. It's about following personal dreams and values, not conforming to others' expectations. Thank you all for watching, and see you soon.